Coming up on this edition of UMTV News, we will bring you the latest update on a heated runoff in the state of Georgia.
Plus, the latest on the January 6th committee's investigation, including its decision to make criminal referrals to the Justice Department.
And we'll tell you how many crimes the Colorado LGBTQ nightclub shooter has been charged with.
All of these stories and more ahead on UMTV News.
It starts right now.
Hello and welcome to the last edition of UMTV News for this semester. I'm Bella Papaduke.
And I'm Cal Friedman. Thank you for joining us tonight. We start tonight with breaking news right now. 2 Trump Organization companies have been found guilty on multiple charges of criminal tax fraud and falsifying business records. The Manhattan jury found the Trump Corporation and Trump Payroll Corporation guilty on all charges they faced. Donald Trump and his family were not charged in the case, but the Trump Organization could face a maximum of $1.6 million in fines when sentenced in January. The company will not be dissolved, but a felony conviction could affect businesses with other companies. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg says the company's scheme was to award high-level executives with lavish perks, while concealing all the benefits to avoid paying taxes.
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack will be making criminal referrals to the Justice Department. The committee's chairman, Democratic Congressman Benny Thompson, announced the decision today. Thompson said the panel has not narrowed down the universe of individuals who may be referred. When asked if he believed any witnesses perjured themselves, Thompson said, quote, "That's part of the discussion." One source said the criminal referrals, quote, will be focused on the main organizers and leaders of the attacks. The committee is expected to meet later today.
Almost every state had its midterm elections decided about a month ago, except for one. Right now, voters are hitting the polls in Georgia, casting their ballots in what's been a contentious battle for the U.S. Senate state. In the battleground state of Georgia, voters once again have the final say of the election season.
Being out here to see Senator Warnock and having him kind of be part of the voice that we've been wanting for so long here in Atlanta.
When Herschel decided to run for Senate, it was a no-brainer for us.
Neither incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock nor his Republican challenger, former football great Herschel Walker, were able to bag more than 50% of votes in November's general election, stoking an extra month-long fight for Warnock's U.S. Senate seat.
I can't.
I can't.
I can't.
I can't vote for Herschel Walker.
Warnock thought no one was watching when he evicted poor people from their homes.
The runoff is high stakes for both parties. If Walker wins, the Senate will be evenly split. If Warnock wins, the Democrats will have the majority outright and won't have to rely on the vice president to break tie votes.
The stakes couldn't be higher.
I represent the great people of Georgia.
Now with the finish line in sight and early voting shattering state records last week, the Secretary of State says he is expecting a similar turnout today.
We've actually already had 80,000 people that voted in this runoff that didn't vote in the fall at all. So that's what you're really seeing is people that were kind of sitting back and watching things are getting engaged in this race. So we think both sides are energized.
Democrats have had an upswing in votes in the Peach State, a shift that the runoff could reaffirm. The results should be announced within the next 2 days.
The suspect accused of the Colorado Springs LGBTQ shooting has been charged in court on 305 different counts. Among the charges to 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich is first-degree murder. Aldrich, who identifies as non-binary, opened fire on Club Q nightclub on November 19th, killing 5 and injuring at least 19. Aldrich was eventually taken down by others inside the nightclub at the time. He has also been charged with bias-motivated crime causing bodily injuries.
The bias-motivated statute was actually changed only a couple of years ago. If it was not for that change, we would probably not be able to charge it in this case. And so the wording was changed to allow it to be committed in whole or in part based on bias.
Aldrich faces life in prison without parole if convicted on the first-degree murder charge. His preliminary hearing in court is due by February 22nd.
Los Angeles County has seen COVID cases spike by over 75% over the last week, with over 10,000 cases and at least 29 deaths over a 3-day period. The county's health officials say hospitalization numbers have moved from the low COVID community level to the active medium level, as defined by the CDC. This surge has county officials considering a reinstatement of indoor mask mandates.
It's time for a short break now, but when UMTV News continues...
2 women are trying to take a bite out of Apple. We will tell you more about this proposed class action lawsuit when we return.
And one event in Florida is giving us something to sing about this holiday season. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
RAIN has been supporting survivors of sexual violence since 1994.
We have teams dedicated to education, prevention, and response.
Improving the criminal justice system.
And changing the way America thinks about sexual violence.
Our hotline is 100% confidential. It's anonymous, it's safe, and free.
Whether you're looking for information or just want someone to listen, we'll be there.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
Porque siempre voy a atender a tu llamada.
Because I'm here to support you with what you need to heal.
Because I will work to prevent violence and to create a safer future.
Because I share your story. Because we.
Because we will fight for you.
Because we stand with you.
Because with RAIN, you are not alone.
Two women are suing Apple because they claim their previous partners used the company's AirTag devices to track their locations, potentially putting their safety at risk. The lawsuit was filed on Monday in federal court in San Francisco. One of the women said her ex-boyfriend placed an AirTag into the wheel of a tire on her car. This device was colored with a Sharpie marker and tied up in a plastic bag to disguise it. The other woman says her ex-husband placed an AirTag in their child's backpack after he was harassing and constantly asking her where she was. Apple did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Apple launched the AirTag in 2021. The devices cost $30 and are about the size of a quarter. The devices are meant to be used to track personal items such as keys, wallet, or even your dog.
And speaking of dogs, a dog named Birdie is bad to the bone. Here, our reporter Madison Bidding joins us live with more. Maddie?
Yeah, guys, Birdie is a golden retriever who accidentally set off the fire alarm at a doggy daycare. But when firefighters arrived, they just found a dangerously cute pup, showing absolutely no remorse. Doggy daycare can be a ball. Just take it from Birdie.
She goes to dog camp on Fridays at Dogwoods Lodge.
But sometimes, playtime gets out of hand.
Good girl.
You might say roughhousing too much.
She had just arrived for day camp and was just bouncing around and bounced into the fire alarm and pushed it in, pulled it down, and that was it.
The mischief all caught on the daycare security camera. Birdie jumps and hits the alarm, prompting a visit from Grimes firefighters. Thank dog, it was just a false alarm.
Birdie got to meet the fire department, so.
As punishment, Birdie had to pause and think about it. She's wearing an apology around her neck. But the owner doesn't believe Birdie is truly sorry for hounding the fire department.
She didn't seem to care at all. The other dogs were freaking out.
No fire here. But firefighters forgive the golden pup for the mishap. And if only dogs could talk, they'd tell a pretty hilarious tale.
We thought that was pretty funny, and we're glad that she has an outlet at dog camp that she can go once a week and play around.
Birdie's owners say they're not totally surprised that she pulled the fire alarm, and they have an 11-month baby at home, saying that's why Birdie's been acting out, to get more attention. For UMTV, I'm Madison Bidding.
All right, thank you, Maddie. One man is behind bars on suspicion for a common assault on King Charles III, but oddly enough, his weapon of choice was a piece of food. The man allegedly threw an egg in the direction of the King of England during a walkabout in the English town of Luton. The king was shaking hands with the public when his security staff temporarily steered him away from the crowds shortly after arriving. Then they moved him to a different area to continue interacting with the rest of the crowd and walking around.
England, ever since drawing to us in the World Cup. As the weather gets chilly and magic fills the air, several organizations are emphasizing the importance of giving back. Our reporter Emmy Darkea went to an event filled with the holiday spirit, and I hear she's still swooning. She joins us live now in studio with more. Emmy.
Guys, I'm not going to lie, Halloween is getting a run for its money as my favorite holiday. Windermere Wine and Dine put together an event that had me smiling all night long. The best part was getting to see my community together after the pandemic and doing it for a great cause.
Underneath the blue moon of Windermere, residents got together for an evening full of music and magic. Just ask Rotary Club member Karen Harrison, and she'll tell you how she got swept off her feet by the symphonies.
Really, I thought every number was well selected, and it was just a perfect evening. And the vocalist was fabulous.
Karen was one of hundreds who gathered outside of Windermere's Rotary Club to listen to the enchanting tunes of the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra in Music Among the Lakes, a free event that benefited the Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida.
Oh, it's so nice to be able to come out and enjoy our friends and neighbors and have this wonderful presentation.
Windermere Wine and Dine put together this event. Their purpose is to raise money and awareness for local nonprofits who hope to make a change in the community. During this event, they aspired to fundraise $10,000, and they came up with creative ways to incentivize the community.
Those who were able to come out tonight got this wristband, which changes colors. For tonight, the color blue meant that the donations were reached, and I'm happy to say that every resident left with this color on their wristband.
As I was sitting and looking around, I said, you know, this is really a wonderful American type environment. I think the citizens and people of Windermere try really hard to have an inclusive community, and it's just great. And you come and you just see people from all nationalities, and oh, it's so wonderful.
With the holidays right around the corner, making a difference was on everyone's wish list.
There's a lot of families that aren't as blessed as the families that are here tonight, being able to watch the orchestra, and we said we're going to do a virtual food drive. Let's make an impact outside our borders.
The night came to an end with music out of this world.
And I think one of the beautiful things about our community is that we're very tight-knit, and that a lot of people from the surrounding West Orange community, and I just had some lovely folks from Dr. Phillips tell us how excited they were to come and join in an event that, you know, kind of eclipses everything that's going on in the world today, but just brings us together for a single common cause.
As part of the greater Orlando area, Windermere knows how to charm.
And it just makes me proud to be an American. So.
Magic does come with the territory.
Windermere Wine and Dine posts their community events on their social media pages. Their next event will be taking place February 4th, so be on the lookout for details. I'm Emmy Darkea for UMTV.
Thank you, Emmy. Imagine everyone seeing your account balance when you use an ATM. That sounds like an invasion of privacy, right? Well, at Art Basel in Miami this past weekend, one art installation did just that. The specialty ATM was made by Brooklyn art collective Mischief. The group installed it at Art Basel, the annual International Art Festival in Miami Beach. The ATM displays the highest bank account balances on a leaderboard, similar to how high scores would be shown on an old arcade game. Mischief says the highest balance it recorded was $9.5 million.
That is a lot of money. Bella, what would you even spend $9.5 million on?
Paying off my student loans in a boat.
See, that's a lot smarter than I would have thought. I would have gone for something a little more designer, something like a race car.
No, you gotta get something fun, but also be responsible.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us for our last UMTV news show of the fall semester. We want to give a shout out to our seniors in this class. You guys are amazing, and we wish you the best after graduation.
We wish you a safe and happy holiday season. Have a great night.